Om Shanti. Opening my heart and mind to the unconditional love of God. His love for me is limitless. I feel and experience His infinite love for me, guiding me, showing me the way, the happiness and peace that I experience grows deeper and deeper as I follow the pathway of non-judgment and non-violence. This affirms that transformation is taking place in my life. Living my life in the remembrance of God's divine love, divine truth, and divine power sustains me in every way. I understand and acknowledge that I am going beyond old patterns of thinking, old patterns of behaving as I create the new me. Courage and joy are my companions on this path of deep learning. My heart blossoms with light and positive energy as I allow God to embrace me in His lap of love. I feel the joy in my heart. My confidence grows and deepens as I acknowledge my unique loving qualities, the same as the qualities of God, my Father. As I change over time, I nurture new friendships that support who I am becoming. I am a happy and loving soul.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters, fellow travelers in this journey called life. Welcome once again to Inner Space, where every other Saturday we gather to share ideas about certain phenomena that enliven us in our journey. With us this afternoon is Sister Isabel Carpio and Brother Archie Vidon. I am Tensi Villa and welcome to this Saturday session. With us on Zoom is Sister Rose Sekitin, and we shall be joined in a little while by Miss Ellen Luna, our very, very own Miss Ellen. This afternoon, we shall continue thinking about I Love Me, this being the love month. But actually, every month should be love month, right, Brother Archie
Correct.
and Sister Belle?
Yes.
And every day should be I Love Me Day. With us too at the controls is Miss Lady D, whom everyone is amused and affectionate. So this afternoon, we shall talk again about I love me. Why should I love myself, Brother Archie?
In the first part of this conversation, we talk about more on physical love.
Yes.
And I think there's another way of loving ourselves or self-love. And that is in the way of inner or in a mental manner. And that is loving ourselves is to be calm and still. And if I can remember correctly, Brother June laid down the framework of art of loving. That is
Yes.
acceptance, respect, and trust. For us to be able to have a inner love or self-love, I think we have to have a peaceful mind and not um, affected by the people around us or any environment around us. Maybe we can explore and expound that later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Belle?
True. For me, if I say I love myself, uh, it's like I hug myself, I embrace myself, I accept myself. I love the entire me, the whole me. So it's like not only physical, but also the mental state, the social state, the emotional, everything.
Yep, true. I wonder what Sister Rose can tell us about her way of loving herself. Sister Rose?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you
Am
are.
I audible? Okay, how do I love myself? First, of course, I practice self-care. Um, I set healthy boundaries. I always find time to be with people who are positive, people who do not put me down. In very, very challenging situation, I always uh, say some self affirmation. Kaya mo yan, you can do it, you have all the talent, etc. And I also go to nature. I commune with nature. And of course, I dance. So I think that's about it.
Indeed. Miss, what comment can you put?
Mm. There are many ways of practicing self-love. As long as it makes you happy, you're comfortable with it, and you do not make others uncomfortable or you do not offend other people. So let's go. Let us love ourselves.
Yeah. Agreed, sir.
Yes, yes,
You were, you were,
definitely.
you were asking earlier what are the benefits of self-love?
Mm-hmm.
Or yes, number one, improve self-esteem. You become more confident. Number two is you become more resilient. So when there are problems coming in, kaya mo. You can do it. You can face it. And it also increases motivation, especially since I'm a teacher. I practice positive affirmation, reaffirmation. I affirm their talents, etc. They become more goal oriented. And then, of course, you learn to support other people because you practice self love, you love yourself, then you tend to love other people unconditionally. And of course, right now, our trend is improve mental health. It improves our mental health, basically. And of course, healthier lifestyle. Those are the positive things I could think of that are the benefits of self love.
Oh, thank you for teaching us. Because you know, Sister Rose and Brother Archie and Sister Bell, if we love ourselves enough, I think we will necessarily overflow into our environment, the people around us, especially first and foremost. So, and it will be very easy to be friendly with others, right?
Yes.
And as you said earlier, we become resilient. Actually, right now, what are our problems, Brad? Tell us. Social problems.
I think in our case we are easily affected by our social environment in the workplace, in our colleagues or within our circle of friends. Most of the time we are affected by simple things. And I would like to relate this in our Brahma Kumaris practices in terms of how we should be able to protect ourselves from that kind of scene. Number one is acceptance. We have to accept the people around us. They are our brothers, and we have to have a brotherly vision for everyone. And in that way, if we understand the behavior of everyone, the people around us, we'll definitely understand our inner self. And with that, if we understand those people, definitely we will not be affected by their behavior.
That is very much in keeping what Sister Rose said. Um, we shall be more resilient if we know how to accept those around us as they are, not as we wish them to be. Sister Bell, do you think so?
Yes, it's true.
And also, Sister Rose said, you know, she's our resource person.
Okay.
Because Sister Rose, you as a social worker and as a teacher, you have a lot of experience with humanity per se, no? As we find them. And
That's true.
yes, and you are in a position to help uplift those you come in contact with, no? Uplift their humanity, their self-respect, and their self-acceptance. So, being with everyone, we learn to accept them, then we also practice self-love that way.
Okay, this is what I can say to parents, especially to parents. No, self-love starts with how you treat your children. For example, usually program during our childhood days, program to achieve. Why can't you be like that other child? Why can't you be like your sister? Why can't you be either? We always compare our kids to other kids. That is why in self-love, never ever compare yourself with others because you are unique with all your flaws. Learn to embrace your flaws. You have inherent worth and dignity.
Right.
that makes you very unique.
May I cite an example? When I was conducting classes in the dump site, but our classes weren't there. Our children came from the dump site, but we were in a nearby barangay. When it was recognition day, some parents were not quite happy because we had 20 students and we had 20 awardees for penmanship. They said, ay, tanan man, gitagaan og award, nga naman na. Well, you see, in our classes, we were not competitive. We trained our children to look at themselves as they are, and that's one way of training them to love and accept themselves. So, when it was time to give awards, recognition day, they called it. Of course, all those who had good penmanship had to be given the penmanship award. Fortunately, all of them had good handwriting, even
That's
those
true.
left-handed. So all of them had to get awards, right?
Mhm.
And the parents did not quite accept that. I said, why? You as a parent, don't you think your child has neat paperwork? Don't you think he writes well? Look at his work. So I showed them. You see, we compiled their work in envelopes, personal envelopes. So they showed how well their children wrote and how good they were in drawing and in sketching. Why shouldn't each one who did well be given an award? See? So
That's true.
as you said earlier, we were trained to be competitive
Mm,
and we were trained to compare ourselves with others. Why can't we compare ourselves with ourselves?
that's true.
That's true.
So when there is usually competition, I usually say, do not compete with others, compete with yourself. Okay. If you can run 2 kilometers, then run 3 kilometers, but do not compare and look who's behind or ahead of you. Because we have been what you call this? We've been programmed that we are not good enough
Hmm.
from the
Right.
very start. Okay lang if we have very supportive parents, but then because of here again we have social media. Social media has always set standards of what a perfect, for example, our body shaming, no? The type of body that you should have, you should be like the magazine, you should be like the model, you should be what you call this curvy, etc. So if that is put in your mind, uh the child would always say, really that I'm not comfortable with my body, or I hate my body. So we have anorexia, we have bulimia, etc. We have all those psychological problems that comes with looking at our body as not so perfect. So we really start self-love when they were kids, children.
Mhm. I agree. So I believe we should be uh, very, profuse with our praising of our little ones. No, we start when they are little. And instead of saying, no, no, don't do this, don't do that,
Mm.
let's say a baby or a toddler tries to reach for a bottle, which is a bit out of his,
Mm.
his reach at that time. Why don't we help him by encouraging him to get to
Mhm.
that bottle and get hold of it himself? No? If we give it to him, then we do not encourage him to try
Mhm.
and to reach for a higher goal. Probably we should start really early in life. And
Yes,
brother,
I
don't we
agree.
start? We should really start as early as we can.
Yeah.
And we should be generous with our praise for our little
Yes,
ones.
that's true. That's true. Oh, why can't we be generous? Very good. Let's keep going. Encouraging.
Yes.
encouraging. Okay, if I may add, World Health Organization has identified 10 life skills. These 10 life skills help our adolescent grow up into healthy adults later on. Number one life skill is self-awareness.
Oh,
So
yes.
this skill is called skill, so it must be sharpened from the very start. We have to help our children and even ourselves to be self-aware. How do we react? What are our emotions? What are our sense of attachment, our sense of detachment? Okay. This skill is developed. It's not an overnight skill. So it's part of really a number one skill in self-love also is self-awareness. Awareness of yourself, awareness of the gifts that God has given you, awareness of others, practicing empathy, because you cannot practice empathy if you do not empathize
With yourself.
yourself. Yes. Learn to forgive. We have a lot of areas where we can improve our self-love.
When do we really start? When we wake up, Sister Belle, di ba? What are we supposed to do? This can be self-imposed. Of course, we will have our personal ways of doing things, but I really find it very consoling to wake up early in the morning and lift my mind and my heart to God. That way,
Yes.
it's like I set my pace for myself for that day. So we start with, praising and thanking the Lord for the new day. And then that makes everything light towards up to the end of the day. Of course, there will be adverse happenings during the day, but then when we have elevated our minds and hearts early to the Lord, it will be easier to accept things as they come.
If I can put it lighter, you know the song, the moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for me, huh? Oh, yun.
That's wonderful. I
Forever and ever. I like that affirming.
Mhm. I think that's a very modern way of doing it, Sister Rose. But truly, when we elevate our minds and hearts to the Almighty at the start of the day, then things will come and we learn to accept them as they come. Praise and challenges like waiting for a ride with so many in competition with ourselves. Also, we learn to be malleable because, of course, we will meet adverse occasions and people adverse to us, but it would be easier really if we have conditioned ourselves to accept ourselves and to accept others too. That way, we love ourselves for what we are.
Um, in relation to that, sometimes or most of the time, we are our love to ourselves is dependent on the acceptance of others. Like, for instance, if we are not recognized in the office or in the family, we tend to criticize ourselves, and sometimes our response is to become a go-getter. I want to achieve more because I want to be accepted by people. I want to be kinder to them. But in that way, sometimes, or we are not loving ourselves that way because our love to ourselves is dependent on the behavior of other people.
Right. That way, our love for ourselves becomes a hindrance to our accepting ourselves later on and others accepting us.
This could be.
Sister Belle, you have a lot of experience in the office. I know.
Well, for me, let's say, at the start of the day when I wake up, I say my prayer, thanking God, and then also asking Him guidance to help me throughout the day because we don't know what will happen. So with that, you just have to go. It's not really go with the flow. You just have to go how you usually do every day, and then also, if there's something that's bothering me, you just try to let it go. And also, I have my own passion. So, having something to achieve, or you have something, ano ba, parang goal ba nga to do, for that day, for that particular day, it's like helping inside you ba, nga ma-uplift ka, and then as a result, you won't be bothered at all. So just like that, so it's like it's really good also to have also passion in life, something that you want to do.
A goal to achieve.
Yes.
That's very true.
Hello.
Hello, if you have self love, you become more motivated and you become more goal oriented.
What do you
Yes.
mean? I don't understand Chinesisch.
Who is that?
May we welcome you into our group, brother?
Yeah, maybe somebody would like to ask some comments or they have some
Yes.
questions or clarifications.
So, shall we have some golden drops, Sister D? Drops where, Sister Diane? So, was it Sophia Loren who said?
I love that actress, Sophia Loren. She's
Oh,
a very
yeah.
strong woman.
Strong
Did you know
person.
that? Yeah, her child, her first child, she was in danger of miscarriage. She had all throughout her pregnancy, she has to stay in bed. Imagine that, 9 months in bed. So that makes her a very strong-willed woman. I
She
love
pulled
uh,
through.
Sophia Loren.
Actually, if we are able to accept ourselves as we are, it would be much easier to go through the routine of living. No? Unfortunately, as you pointed out earlier, Sister Rose, we have been programmed to be competitive and to be able to compete with the ideal set before us. We are first put down because we are told, you are not like this person.
Enough. You're never enough.
Yes, we can never do enough. We can never achieve as much as what is expected of us. Why can't we? Well, you see, when we're growing up, we really do not know what to act on, what to reach out for, except those that were set before us by the elders. What if, Sister Rose, society were a little bit different?
Mm-hmm. Pardon? What did you say?
What if there were no honors in class to work out for?
I'm advocating for that actually. I think College of Law has already done that. In some universities they don't have magna cum laude, etc. No more honors because you're putting children or student in a box. So I don't actually adhere to giving honors or recognition. If you have to recognize everyone. Recognize each one's uniqueness.
Right?
Mhm.
Actually, when my sister, who had three little boys, was starting life on her own, she chose a school which didn't have honors in its program.
Very
So,
good.
oh, everyone was accepted. This little school was run by two ladies who thought, as we think, life shouldn't be as competitive as it actually is. So one day I came from my own school in Dumaguete. When I got home, one of my nephews said, Tita, I'm the best in our class. I said, oh, who told you that? He said, you see, we have this song. I said, what song is that? The bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain, the bear went over the mountain. And then the next line was, and what did he see? He was the one assigned to do that line. And what did he see? I said, and so what does that mean? It means I'm the best because I was the one given that assignment. I said, oh no, I don't think so. But see, he had competition in mind. So
Mm.
we all had, my sister, her husband, and we all said, oh, that's only a line in that song. And anyone in your class can say that line. I said, oh, Daddy, I told my brother-in-law, Daddy, say it yourself. And he did. I said, see, Daddy is the best among us here. Because I really didn't want them to be competitive. But see, when they went to grade 1 and onward, there were the ribbons and the medals to aspire for. So at our consolation is at least we tried. We would like to welcome Sister Ellen into our conversation this afternoon. Hi, Sister Ellen.
Hi, Sister Ellen. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're having a real good, interesting topic there. And
Yeah.
I miss the face-to-face conversation. So thank you.
Oh,
And
no, it
I'm
Mm.
has.
sure one of those things that really, hit my mind right now is when you talk of self-respect, self-love. And when you were saying earlier that, you know, I am not enough, I think this is one statement that we have not really taken seriously who we really are. That's why a number of us still find ourselves in I am not enough because I am not like that billboard that you see where you have beautiful faces and uh
Mm.
glistening teeth and beautiful blush on makeup. But right
Mm.
now, I think we have to go deeper into just seeing the skin and the physical looks. When we talk of I love me not because of, as uh, Dean Sikitin was saying earlier, that the figure of our body is so important to a number of other people because as it is right now, we have been exposed more on the body than who we really are. I think when we talk of self-respect, we have to see who we really are, and that is our being a spiritual being. I mean, when we talk of the physical, it's really more of the body shape, the physical appearance, the profession that we have, the money that we have, what is just seen by the eye. But I think beyond that, when we talk of I love me because I am who I am. I am unique, I'm
me.
special, not because of my face, not because of how I look, not because of my car, not because of the people who are related to me, not because of my position and my possession, but rather because of the real me who is imperishable, eternal, one who is connected with someone who is higher than I am, but yet he has seen me as I am, as a beautiful soul who has the qualities and can become or can have the same qualities as my father. So that's how I look at myself when I say I love me. It's because I have such connection with a higher being, a supreme being. So for me, this is how I will look at my I love me, simply because I find love, eternal love, a love that can never be equated or overflowing always, and it's unlimited. And this is the recognition that I get specifically from someone who is higher than any one of us. And this is
Yes.
what I feel is my reason for loving myself. And I am able to love others simply because the others that I see are also my brothers who are in the same lineage, not perhaps not by blood, but rather by the eternal connection that we have with each other, a connection which is universal. And
To
I feel
me,
that, as you were saying earlier, it's only when I love myself that I will be able to love others too. So when I love that self, which is, I would say, the value, I value that self, then I can also value others. It is a consequence of that love for the self that I am able to value others beyond what I see, but what are my connections with them. So that's how I look at how I can say that I love me. So yun lang. Basically that's how I feel of embracing myself, on valuing the self, on respecting that self, because it is beyond what I see. Yun lang siguro that's my take for this afternoon.
and because we value ourselves, it is very easy to value others because we are aware that we come from the same source, an eternal source. And since we belong to the same Father, then it's very easy to love others because in our families we learn, you know, by affinity and by being with one another, what is the outside world? Just an extension of our inner world in our families. So you see, I am very much outside. Um, I am very much with people who are trying very hard to get away from the realities of life, like poverty, and seeing them trying so hard yet getting so little. Of course, the love, because I feel with them and for them, I cannot help but go back to the source of all these. He who gives much, who has given much of himself, does not get the response from society, from humanity, the way he intends humanity to respond. But in our little ways, every single day, we can overflow into their lives. Brother, what do you think?
I think in Brahma Kumaris, we part of our daily interaction is to give love to others, regardless if it's expressly or through the mind, because we can vibrate love even without expressing it to them, and we can truly affect them
Yes.
and give them our love. And in a discussion earlier about competition in the school, and I think we have to change or somehow that, because it's one of the, instead of putting up synergies to the people and cooperation and teamwork, that recognition of who's the best, but the teamwork isn't there. That's why the upbringing from from the parents to the school up, even in the office, we try to become the best and get the higher position. But what's the purpose? What's in it? Are we happy at the end of the day if we are able to get the number one spot all the time? And sometimes when we do not get, that's where the challenge is.
Brother, the thinking that Brahma Kumaris has inculcated in you and in us affected by Brahma Kumaris, it is something that makes us really overflow
Yes.
because we are filled with the knowledge and with the feeling that we are loved
Yes.
because
And
we come from love.
we realized and know that love is one of the virtues, and that is innate in every one of us.
Yes. And Sister Belle, I see her operate, with so much, with so much generosity and so much feeling for others. I see her operate, and somehow this is a revelation, Sister Belle. You really, you really awaken that gentle and tender feeling in me when I see you dealing with others, especially with those very close to you.
Thank you. I mean, it does really it's really who I am. That's how I love myself, how I treat myself. So how you treat me is also how I love myself.
And I experienced that when I did a little, I had a little encounter with Sister Rose in her school. Oh, that was very edifying for me, Sister Rose.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your presence and your time that you gave to the parents. They'll learn a lot.
And Sister Ellen, wow. How I how I wish I had more time with Sister Ellen, because I really see the practice of what the teachings we come in contact with, and the teachings that we absorb. I see the practice in her and in our dealings with others together. So being edified is very easy when we have these principles in mind. And I really, really am grateful to Inner Space that these opportunities are made open to us. You know, the friends that we made in inner space, even if we don't see them anymore, we feel their presence. You know,
Yes. There's a connection of the spirit.
yes.
Yeah.
Like Mindy Perez. She is no longer around because she lives far away. But you know, there is this affection when we think of them, the friends we had there, you know, in our other location, the how there is this warmth that I really feel when I go back to our days, our first days in inner space. And I just do wish we would continue these practices of ours. Ah, Sister Ellen.
Yes, remember, we are not just ordinary friends, but I guess we have learned how to recognize ourselves as spiritual beings. And right now, we have elevated our relationship as spiritual friends. And
Yes.
I think this is what is making it different. Even if we're far away from each other, we're distance apart, but our recognition of being points of light and
Yes.
coming from an eternal source and being eternal beings, we believe that, this is not just the first time that we have met, and we are going to meet always and always because we have special connections. I guess I would like to point out that thing that Ari has said earlier about I am enough and I am not enough. I guess we have not really recognized who we really are. That's why we are affected so much when some people would tell us you're not in a in the best dress, or you're not in a good mood right now because you have not made your makeup so well, or your dress is this and that. Because I guess these are things that are very materialistic, that we have
Yes.
not really recognized beyond what is there in that body. And I guess this is what is, I love me because of that inherent quality that each one of us has. And brother has been saying that earlier, that innate quality of love, that innate quality of peace, of power, of being peaceful. These are inherent qualities which we have forgotten. And I guess this is from time to time what we have to be able to remember, that we are really enough. And enough is not saying that uh, we have to have the what others have. That's why we have to compete, no? But rather, instead of competing, we have to collaborate and cooperate.
Yes.
What others may not have, we also have. So we have to share it. We have to be able to help not only in material things, but be able to give that good wish and extend that love, which brother was saying earlier, through our perhaps what we call the vibrations, because this reaches people. Like
Yes.
we believe that the transfer of vibrations is very important, that our connection is just not so not very very vivid, but it can be felt. Like right now, being with you there, I really wish I could be with you in with my physical presence, but right now I could feel your throbbing, your vibrancy there. I can feel the love that you have, that you would like to impart on us. That embracing, like what you were saying, embracing the self, embracing the real me, embracing and accepting the self and not self. Uh, you were saying earlier, accepting everyone, although it's not really easy to accept everyone. Handling people who are difficult could really be a big challenge. But yet, we can if we are able to go beyond the
the
Not so
material.
lovable things, di ba? Some people may not be that, that lovable, but yet this is where we can be able to express our patience, our understanding. As we were saying earlier, refining ourselves on being able to see the 95%, which perhaps we have not seen because we have been focused on the 5%, which is not so good. But again, if we see the goodness in ourselves, then that goodness is also present in the other person. But perhaps that person has not been uh has been traumatized in the past. That's why we cannot also put in such blame that this person is this and that, but rather giving him the vibrations that, you know, in my mind, in our minds, that that person still has the beautiful characteristic that we have not rediscovered. So as I discover myself, I rediscover other people too of their inherent qualities, and I can only see them from that point of view beyond
Oh,
what others may say or might see.
thank you very much for that beautiful reflection, Sister Ellen. And that will prepare us for our closing meditation for this afternoon. And so we close our session this afternoon by thanking everyone who joined us. Dean Rose Sikitin
My pleasure.
and Sister Ellen up there in Luzon. Brother Archie, Miss Bell, thank you very much for having this beautiful afternoon with us. And may we also thank Lady D for making this broadcast possible, and all of you, dear brothers and sisters, who have joined us for our beautiful session this afternoon. It was very enlightening, wasn't it, Brother Miss Bell? Thank you, and join us again when we come out into the open with just another adventure in the month of March.
Goodbye.
Goodbye and God bless.
Yes.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye, Sister Ellen.
Bye. Thank you again, and see you
See you.
next week.